Okay, so we were at a very impromptu interview spot with Jilly Ballistic, who we were just down in the subways with, capturing her doing her awesome art. So I just have to ask you real quick. Thank you for joining us, first of all. Thank you for stepping outside. So it is. How do you scope out your spots?
It's basically just commuting day to day. There's the subway's my way to get around New York City, so I don't tune out when I get down there. I'm actually really absorbing my environment, so I'm aware of not only who's around me, but the ads and the car inside the car, the platform, the architecture. So I'm taking it all in as I'm just going about my business, really.
Yeah, I noticed that every time we got to a stop, you sort of leaned out the door and looked to see what. So is there anything in particular that catches your eye? I know that today you said that there was a specific piece and you were looking for something very specific. Do you do the piece first, or do you see something that catches your eye that influences the piece?
It works both ways. If there's an ad or there's a particular platform, a particular subway stop that's kind of speaking to you, there's something unique about it, or that stands out, I'll keep it in mind. I'll make a mental note of it, and I'll do some research, and I'll look through thousands and thousands of photographs to find the right image that will interact with that site-specific area. And sometimes the reverse is true. It's like, as I'm going through all of these images, something will speak to me and say, just keep me in mind. And I'll have that in the back of my head. And sometimes that'll happen where I'm out and about saying, that's a perfect spot for that one image that I saw, and they have to be united, so.
How frequently do you go out, and how frequently do you sort of switch up your images?
I go out maybe every other day. It's a lot. It's highly addictive. So if you get into graffiti or street art or subway art or whatever you want to call it, it's highly addictive, and you will go down that rabbit hole.
So I'm curious, how did this start? Like, did you start doing the art pieces and then you didn't really know where to put them, or did you start by going out and saying, I want to put something out in the subway? How did this start?
It started years ago in a very traditional manner. I actually worked with spray paint, which a lot of street artists start with, the markers, acrylic paint, spray paint, house paint, anything like that. I still consider myself a short story writer, but that's how it started. I just wanted to get my short stories out there, so I would spray paint excerpts of my fiction, also in site-specific areas where I felt it was right for that sentence, or that phrase or whatever.
So then you started with words, and then it became images, and of course images are very powerful and speak to a lot of words as well. Do you still do words, or are the short stories now sort of living inside the images that you do?
That's a great comment. Yeah, I still feel like I'm telling a story with the characters we put up tonight. The little girl, the guy sitting on the bench. There's something not spoken but also spoken with that. But there's also text, like the fake digital intervention that we did on top. That's text as well. Yeah. So I mean, it's just working with your environment, getting creative, and not being afraid to go out there and say something.
So I'm curious as well, where do you get the inspiration for, like, where did the gas mask image come from?
Yeah. I kind of started using repeated, like on a consistent basis, early 2014, late 2013, and it's in conjunction with like a really weird birthday celebration of chemical warfare, 1914. So it's like the centennial. It was the centennial of chemical warfare being introduced, not only on soldiers but on, civilian populations. So I thought, that it was my weird way of saying, happy birthday, happy birthday, humanity, and that's basically what I did. I went from World War I, World War II, every now and then, something a little bit more modern, but the older images juxtapose against a modern ad or all this color that we're saturated with. That seemed to make a really good statement. So it was my own weird happy birthday. That's how it started.
I like that. That's very cool. Very unique. Where can people go to find out more about your art and what you do?
I have no website, so don't look for a website. That's not. There's plenty on social media. It's on Instagram. It's on every app. Just search Jilly Ballistic. You'll find me.
And if people see your art, is there like a hashtag or something they should tag?
Just hashtag Jilly Ballistic, one word, or hashtag JillyB.